welcome to the lesson on determining themes and central ideas. We are going to be looking at both nonfiction and fiction pieces. So the standard for reading literature is that students need to determine a theme or central idea of a text and analyze its development over the course of the text, including its relationship to the characters, setting, and plot, and also provide an objective summary of the text to help you determine that theme. So let's talk about determining themes in fiction first. A theme is a message about or an insight into life. In other words, it's the main idea of a work of fiction. It's what the author wants you to learn after reading his piece. A theme can be expressed in a statement, meaning a complete sentence. Themes are developed through characters, their decisions, and experiences and insights. So there are two types of themes. The first one is a stated theme. Stated themes are expressed directly in the text by the writer. You can also have implied themes. Implied themes are revealed gradually through elements such as plot, characters, setting, point of view, symbolism, and also irony. Implied themes are the more frequent type. You're very rarely going to read a story, whether it's a fiction story or a nonfiction piece of literature, where you are going to be told directly what the theme is. Most often, 99% of the time, you are going to have to figure out the theme. Okay, readers must determine the theme through the examination of characters and story patterns. So let's look at an example. Here are some story details. We have a story here. It's about Alex, Bob, and Jake, and Ryan. Alex demands that Bob and Jake bully Ryan. Jake refuses. Bob goes ahead and bullies Ryan, but then he feels bad afterward. Story pattern here could be considered a before and after. Okay, let's look at the contrast. Jake stands up for what he believes. Bob does not. So Alex had demanded that the two boys bully him. And Jake says no, he stands up for what he believes in and doesn't. And Bob does not stand up for what he believes in. He goes ahead and he bullies him, and afterward he feels bad. So the consequences is that Bob acts against his better judgment and feels terrible about it. The generalization that we get from this story pattern of before action and after action is that people who act against their better judgment may feel bad afterward. Our implied theme here is that you really need to stay true to your own values. This is that theme that the author wants you to take away and apply to your own life after you've read the story. So your turn. We have another passage here. For the following example passage, determine the following information. First, you need to think about how is this a before and after story pattern. Fill in the details that support the pattern. Ask yourself, what happened before? What happened after? Then think about what generalization you can make from this pattern. Finally, what then is the implied theme of this text? So let's take a look here. A man went to a fancy party where he, along with several other guests, was to be honored. Dressed in ordinary clothes, the man was overlooked. No host greeted him, no guest chatted with him, no servants served him. The man went home, put on his best clothes, and returned to the party. Now the host introduced himself and commanded the servers to bring food to the man. When the man offered the food to his dress coat, the host was puzzled. The man explained that his clothes should have the food, since the host was actually honoring them. So let's see here, our story pattern. We have definitely a before and after. We have the treatment of the guest before and after his change of clothes. Generalizations we can make is that the host and the servants responded to the man's clothing and not to the man himself. So what would be the implied theme here? Did you get it? That people should be judged by their characters and not by their clothing? If you did, you're on the right track to figuring out themes. Okay, so let's turn and talk about nonfiction texts. To determine the theme of a text and analyze its development over the course of the text, including its relationship to supporting ideas, and also provide an objective summary of the text. Determining themes in nonfiction. Nonfiction works to develop themes through the use of central ideas and supporting details. A central idea is a key point the author wants to make in each section of the text. All central ideas and details in the text develop and support the theme by proving it, explaining it, illustrating it, and/or giving further details. Determining central ideas. In most cases, the author directly states the theme near the beginning of the text. This is true for most nonfiction, although not all. If you're looking at a nonfiction novel or short story, you often will not have that theme. But if you're looking at a letter to the editor, for example, or a case study on something, or maybe even directions for how to do something, your theme, your major idea, is going to be stated directly in the beginning. This is what you are going to learn. This is what you need to pay attention. This is what I'm going to present. In other cases, the theme is implied. And again, this would be in a case of literary nonfiction, novels, or short stories. We, the readers, can infer the theme by determining what message all of the central ideas and details combine and support. So the role of the paragraph in a nonfiction piece. Let's see if I can move this down a little bit. Each paragraph in nonfiction develops its own central idea. This central idea is used to support the theme of the whole text. The main idea of a paragraph is often stated in the topic sentence, and the topic sentence is then supported by reasons, examples, and other details in the paragraph. All details in each paragraph, as well as each paragraph itself, serve the larger purpose of developing the central idea, or that theme, of the whole work. You should probably be familiar with this. If you've ever written a 5-paragraph essay, you should be very familiar with the idea that you put your theme in the introduction, you introduce your central ideas, and then your body paragraphs go down, and each central idea is presented with its own supporting details. And of course, all of these details and central ideas go back and support that main theme of the whole work. So let's look at another example here. Can you figure out the central idea in this? Instead of giving you an introductory paragraph, all we've given you are the topic sentences for the body paragraphs. So here are the topic sentences. A park would keep skateboarders out of the streets in our town. Skateboarders would no longer damage public property, such as curbs. A park would inspire skateboarders to take pride in our town. So what do you think the central idea of this piece is going to be if these are your topic sentences? Can you figure out that theme? Did you get it? That our town should build a skate park for skateboarders? It's not that hard. I think a lot of students take a lot of time and think the theme is really going to be very difficult when it's usually the most obvious thing that you can think. Don't make it harder on yourself and really struggle with this. Just spit out your first thoughts. It's usually going to be your theme. That central idea, how a text theme is developed, is directly related to the author's purpose or reason for writing. So let's think about example purposes. We know that authors write for 3 main purposes: to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. Each purpose will have different kinds of central ideas to support that theme. So let's look. If our theme is rock climbing is dangerous, and we have a few different purposes, you might have first a purpose to inform people. Okay, that rock climbing is dangerous. The central ideas in this piece would be probably facts and statistics about accidents while rock climbing. If the purpose of the piece is to persuade people that rock climbing is indeed dangerous, the writer might add arguments about the need for safety, may share personal experiences of themselves or witnesses, people who have seen, dangerous things happen rock climbing. The last, rock climbing is dangerous, this might be an entertainment piece, okay? Maybe they're looking to be funny. They might include comical details about a rock climbing experience. So think about the central ideas you're given to help you figure out the purpose, and sometimes that'll help you figure out the theme as well. In summary, themes can be directly stated or implied through careful examination of characters and story patterns. There we go. Themes are expressed in a statement or a complete sentence. Themes are the main ideas identified and developed in nonfiction. Usually the theme is directly stated by the author at the beginning of the text, or it's going to be implied. When you're reading nonfiction, literature, short stories, or any fictional story, the theme is usually implied. Keep that in mind. Each paragraph in a nonfiction text contains a central idea with supporting details, and each paragraph serves to support the theme of the work as a whole. An author's purpose for writing determines how a theme will be developed, and both themes and central ideas will be supported through details in the text, and it's our job as readers to figure out what the theme or idea is. It's the so what of our reading. That's the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, be sure to get back to your teacher and ask, and now you can move on to any further activities your teacher has in class. Have a great day.